I hope you had a great Thanksgiving holiday weekend. A lot going on over the Thanksgiving holiday weekend. Castro died. Wisconsin now is going to begin recounting the votes in the presidential election. Ohio State beat Michigan. Ed Orgeron is LSU's new head football coach. The Saints beat the Rams in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome yesterday. What a game it was. And Sean Payton. We'll talk about Sean Payton's behavior on the sidelines later in the show. And also, I was sitting on my sofa in my apartment downtown, and about 1:30, just watching television, getting sleepy. About 1:30, I heard gunshots. At first, it sounded like firecrackers, but that's what gunshots in real life sound like. And that was the first time I'd experienced hearing gunshots in the real world when they were used for violence. There was a shooting in the first block of Bourbon Street. One of the interesting things that came up over the weekend was Sidney Torres brought up this idea of metal detector checkpoints to get onto Bourbon Street. Sidney Torres joins us live on WWL. Sidney, welcome.
Hey, Scoot. Thank you for having me.
Hey, I like the idea, and they do it in Memphis on Beale Street.
They do, and they do it in the Superdome. And I just want to be very clear. This is an idea. When I hear that we had all the boots on the grounds and we did everything we can do. I think that we need to do something to come up with a solution. I think we need a solution, and this is like a temporary solution for special events that we can immediately put in place for certain times when we have this gun violence, because this isn't the first time. We've been having these issues, and something has to be done, and something has to be done drastic to let the tourists know, to let the locals, the community know that drastic action will be taken, similar to what we did with the task force. I mean, in the last 20 months, we had over 800 arrests. We've traveled over 90,000 miles in the French Quarter, 4-minute response times, huge success with the French Quarter task force. But the problem is at 7 o'clock in the afternoon, we don't have the ability to go down Bourbon. So from 7 in the evening to 7 in the morning, we don't have the ability with the task force to go down Bourbon. So what I was suggesting, and this is just an idea, and again, it's an idea, it's coming up with solutions instead of just talking problems. Let's figure out a way that we do like they do when you go into the Dome, 70,000 people, where you have 20 checkpoints that they use the metal the wands to check over to see if you're carrying a gun. If you can carry concealed, if you have the license, fine. But these are guns that are on people that are not licensed to have guns, that shouldn't have guns, that they shouldn't. A lot of these, from what I understand, is stolen guns. To check to make sure, put something in place to come up with a solution to deal with this.
Well, what's interesting, Sidney, is that there are a lot of people who might not even want to go to Bourbon Street if they couldn't bring their gun with them. I mean, that's the mentality of some people who go to Bourbon Street for a reason that is beyond the reason that most people are there.
Well, look, I'm not. I have a gun. I'm not against guns. I think that you have the right to carry a gun. The law says you have the right to carry a gun, and you have a license, and you can. And certain states have different laws. But all I'm saying is that we need law and order on the few blocks, which are the 9 blocks on Bourbon Street, and only Bourbon Street, where it's really bad. I mean, this is something that been happening last year. It's been happening pretty regularly, and I think that it's something that needs to be dealt with drastic action. I mean, to turn on the television, I heard you open your show with saying that you were sitting on your couch. I live in the French Quarter. I didn't hear the shots, but when I turn on the TV first thing in the morning and I see national news, it looks like a war zone on Bourbon Street again. There's something that needs to be done, and it needs to be done immediately to let the community know, to let the public know, to let the tourists know that we're not going to stand for this, and we're going to come up with a long-term solution. But here's a short-term solution to the problem while we come up with a long-term solution. And this is not something that every day it would be on